Welcome back to another episode of the Salford RTG Career Mode here on FC25. Today it's start of season number 6, our second season of Premier League football after last season surviving relegation. It didn't come to the end of this, into the end of the last game of the season. It kind of came towards the last second to last game or third to last game of the season, but it came close at least, where we had a decent gap and then it kind of went away and we got put in that relegation fight, and now we are here in the Premier League again, where we are looking to fight for mid to upper table. In all honesty, this season we want to be at bare minimum 12th, and honestly we finished the season in 13th, so even last season maybe not just 13th, maybe end up top 10 as a minimum. We want to be on this side of the table this season, and boy do we have work to do. Well, some things that are going to go ahead and change are, instead of just always signing the highest overall player of, or being how do I word this properly? Instead of signing at the highest rating of the player at the club at any point, it's going to be the highest rated at the start of each transfer window. So the summer transfer window, the highest rated player on the first day of June or the first day of the new season, and then when we go into January, the January 1st, the highest overall player is the highest max overall that we can bring into the club. So for us this season, it's 76. So we can only bring in players 76 rated or lower. We cannot just wait for Mark Bernal or Gordon to go up to 77 and then we sign a 77 rated player, which is actually going to hurt me, because honestly that was my plan when I was setting up the season, and then I was watching Chesnoid and he does it to where it's at the start of the season or at the start of the window, and that's the cap, so that kind of seems smart, so we're going to cap it like that as well. So, in all honesty, I wanted Koza Dewberry back into the squad. I was going to straight up swap him with Cade Gordon here. He's 77 overall now, and I was just going to wait for one of these guys to go ahead and get up to 77 and sign him, but we can no longer do that. We do have a $33 million in our transfer budget. We do have a couple of players on the transfer list here. We have a lot of players on the transfer list, including our two strikers. We're just going to float the move with the two strikers, including Kai Gordon as well. We're going to float the move with him, see what can maybe come out of it. But a lot of these guys are kind of youth players. Obviously, we're trying to get more real-life players into the squad. It's going to get harder the deeper we go into the seasons, but if we can go ahead and do that. We also do have Nice on the transfer hub or transfer list as well. I want Storm to be my number one right back, possibly. I think Nice, we can get money for him and increase our transfer budget for later down the line. But yeah, a lot of these guys are just deadwood players, and a lot of these guys are loan, like Chandler. He's a high prospect player. He's going to go on loan. He could be one that stays in the future that is a generated player. Obviously, we have Santiago Cuevas. We have Sacco. Revan as a left back is not bad. We have a bunch of players on the short list here that we are going to look to instantly bring in. We have a load of right wing options that I wanted to bring in. There is one keeper on here that is actually 76 overall who I found, and honestly I did not think he was going to be possible, but in all honesty I don't know if I wanted to bring him in, but we could look to bring back in Zahola. I did generate a mini face for him, that's why it's not grayed out anymore, but he's now over at Real Betis for 76 overall. He's at that cap. We can go ahead in there. At first, I had Valladolid and Bergstrom as backup players. Bergstrom was going to be my number one choice as a backup player simply for his height. But now, possibly bring in Zahola, and if we still have Young, then him and Young can fight for the starting 11 spot. Or if we end up selling Young, then we can always bring in Zahola if he doesn't go up a rating as well. So we are going to go ahead and get some things done down the line, see what we can do, hopefully build a mid to upper table squad, and play a couple games of our Premier League season. First game of the season, it's against Brighton. We will start mixing in top 6 club. We won't play all the top 6. Like, honestly, Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal are probably the 3 we definitely won't play. We could play Man United, Chelsea, and Tottenham. We could play those big half, and then the season after that we'll play. Well, we'll kind of play it by ear this season for sure. As far as we are going to go ahead and let someone go here, I think this is Lefebvre, who's knocking out the door for 1.7 million off to SC Laguna. As far as the youth academy goes, and we also sell Van Bruggen finally to Casapia for 2.3 million off the Portugal Yugo. Again, as far as the youth academy goes, as I keep getting interrupted, we are going to send out, well, we have sent them out all through 3 nations for 9 months. We are going to look month by month. I'm going to look by month by month. I'm only going to bring in quite literally the best of the best. and I mean like the best, like a player that could be 70 overall coming into the squad, not a 57 overall. We're gonna go ahead and release that guy there as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get some business done before these players start growing ratings, and then I can't sign him anymore. So let's go ahead and spend our 37 million out wisely. We start the transfer window by trying to loan in Jadel Katongo, a right back from Manchester City, 76 overall. Let's see what they say to a 2-year loan deal. They want a 1-year loan deal. Now, I did hear a thing where if you actually do short term, when you have the 2-year loan option, they will suggest a 2-year loan deal. So maybe I should have done that. 60-40, we're going to just try and do 45-55, maybe do that. Okay, so they do say that. So Katongo will hopefully come on loan for the season, 76 overall right back. Will obviously be the first team choice over Storm, obviously, and then obviously Nice could be on the way out. But Katongo could be one of the first players in the squad. I won't say first player because I'm about to go sign someone else that we definitely need. But Katongo, hopefully welcome to the squad. With a couple of our CDMs obviously being on loan last season, we are falling short in that quality of the field, or that standard of the field here, the position on the field. So we are going to go ahead and look to bring in Italian Federico Castellare back into the squad, well, not back into the squad, but into the squad on a permanent deal. The board stat can get around 4 to 7 million on here, so we're going to offer 4.5, 2 million under his market value. They want around 5.1. We'll see if we can just do 5 million flat here for Federico. They say yes to that. Federico, welcome to the club. Once I get your wages sorted, he obviously is going to want important. That is fine. 5-year deal. He's 26 years old, so he'll be here at least until he's 31 at the minimum and maybe even maximum. He wants 12,500. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of that appearance bonus. He's gonna go up to 13,000. 12.5k pay rises from him and his last club here at Salford. But Castellare, welcome to the squad. Welcome to Premier League. The second player we bring in is Tom Arapenda for 3.4 million over from Mallorca. He's going to be a backup midfielder player and part of the team. He's going to come into the squad as a 74 rated center mid. We're going to try and convert him to a CDM here. But Arapenda, welcome to the squad. And we go ahead and bring in Katongo. Now, what's happened in the quite literal probably 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days since approaching him on loan, and then obviously bringing all the other players in on the same day that I approached this guy on loan, is he's actually grown rating. So he's going up from a 76 to a 77 already. So that is out of my control, in all honesty. He is now 77 rated. It does not matter as far as January comes, because obviously January comes. He is a loan player. He will not be part of the cap. He will be above the cap, in all honesty. But Jadel Katongo, since he was already negotiated and everything was pretty much sorted when he was 76 rated, it counts. It will be fine. It'll be completely fine for us. He comes into the squad. Welcome to Salford. I'm gonna keep saying, I'm gonna always say Salford. It is more than likely pronounced Salford, as a comment has said. Don't know if he's telling the truth. It probably is telling the truth, but I'm more than likely always gonna call it Salford. So just excuse me when I say Salford instead of Salford. I will be trying to say Salford a lot more, but a lot of times I will say Salford. And talking about selling players, we have a transfer deal going on in the works for Nice to go over to Real Madrid for 10.8 million. We will happily take that. It's profit. With leaving the squad, we need a new number 1 center back for us, or at least a pair of the number 1 center back. We found Raymond Hendricks in Stuttgart in Germany, just sitting there. He looks like a decent baller, 6'2" as a center back. We're gonna try and bring him in. We're gonna offer them 5.5 million. See what they say. They say that's reasonable. I actually didn't look how much we could have suggested. I'm guessing his contract is running down a little bit, but 5.5 million is gonna be relatively good for us. So let's go ahead and try and bring him in here. He's obviously going to be crucial. He is left-footed as well, so that fits that perfectly. Him and Nate Budau in that defensive partnership will be perfect. We do not want that 14 million release clause, in all honesty. If anything, we wanted maybe a little bit less. He's going to want more money because of the decline, or the decline release clause. We'll offer 30.5. We'll offer 30. He wants 30.5 plus an appearance bonus. It's not quite what he wanted, but he'll come into the squad. Hendricks, welcome to the first team. Welcome to Salford. Sebastian Reven is sold to Sheffield United for 3.5 million. He is no longer needed at the club here, which means probably do need to try and bring in a backup left back. So we'll definitely look at that. But now for the transfer window, we're back up to 20 million to spend here. We still have a couple of positions that I personally want to improve on. Obviously, we have Castellari. We now have Hendricks. If we get a striker transfer offer for either Aduajai or Tovide or even both, we'll look to do that. There's a possible transfer offer going on for Gordon as well. To be honest, we're not pulling the trigger on Young, and we're not pulling the trigger on a backup goalkeeper yet in case Young does go. If Young doesn't go, then we'll pull the trigger on a backup goalkeeper. We'll probably should do that anyway, even if Young does go. But if Young does go, Zahala will come back into the squad on a transfer offer. We have Irapenda, who we have started training. It's going to take him 97 weeks apparently, though. We might just force that to go on and happen. Katango as our number 1 right back. So at the most right now, instead of looking at first team players, we should probably transition our focus to bench players and looking at some more options as well. Gordon might be gone. A 28 million transfer offer has been accepted. His market value is around, what's his market value at? I don't even know. It couldn't be that high. The board thought the max I could get was 22 million. We pushed it up to 28 million. Cade Gordon might be walking out of the club to go over to France. Something that I was maybe prospering to happen but didn't really expect to happen is now probably happening. And there is Nice walking out the front doors over to Real Madrid. Good prospect, a high prospect that we probably could have grown and maybe had as our Sacco, but once transitioning to real life players, we just didn't want him. So we've seen him as a profit maker at the end of the day. So over to Real Madrid, he goes for 10.8 million. We also say goodbye to Jacob Russell, who's loaned out to Almere City for the rest of the season. He'll probably be instantly transfer listed at the end and at the start of next season. But those are 2 deals done. I'm expecting a Cade Gordon one any second here, and I think this might be it. It is not it yet. Cade Gordon, well, it could be, but this is Baron going off to Gaziantep. Finally get to sell this guy. If I didn't sell him this window, I was honestly just going to go ahead and release him. So he's finally sold. Gordon is not gone yet. That's interesting. Zahola is no longer reachable here, so we will not look to bring him in. We didn't really get a transfer for Young. That's the only reason we were going to go ahead and bring in Zahola. So he's going to stay at Real Betis, which means we'll get to bring in Lucas Bergstrom as a backup keeper for Young. And there it is. Kai Gordon walks out the front door. We say goodbye to him. He has served us well for the short time he's been here, and honestly, has he only been here for 1 season? I think he's a 1-season hit for us here at Salford City. Yeah. And Bergstrom comes into the squad for 2.2 million. Welcome to Salford. And although this guy might not be a insanely future-proof player, he is 29 years old, so he is kind of short-term in that sense. But welcome John Yeboah coming into the squad. 75 overall as a right winger. We'll look to replace Kai Gordon into the Salford team here. Welcome to the first team. I do want to bring in a backup right winger as well, but we might look to loan in somebody, or we might even just look to use maybe a youth academy player here and then just look maybe in January. I don't want to just completely build a squad in one part of the season and have nothing to do in January. So, but Yeboah joins the squad for now. Welcome to Salford here from Venezia for 5.5 mil. Samson Tovide has been sold to SK Rapid for 3.9 million. We will look to bring in another striker as a possible backup / competing first part for at least half of the season, and maybe look at permanent players for the second half of the season, in all honesty. It's a little bit backwards, but it's something that does happen. Or maybe if we get a transfer from Auto Ajay like we have right here, maybe we completely just look for a first team and second team striker. If they can give us around 10, if they can give us close to 10 million, in all honesty, we will go ahead and do it. We go ahead and loan in that striker. It's not the first team striker that I was looking before, but Mustafa comes in the squad. He's the same overall as Adu Ajay. Marlon Suleiman Mustafa from Como coming into the squad for the season. Welcome to Salford. We also go ahead and loan in Mateo Savelti from Atletico Tucumán over in Argentina. He'll be our backup right winger as well. He will have to get some game time. 74 overall is not bad as a backup. He actually grows +1 overall since working on the loan deal. He was 73. Now 74. Welcome to the squad. That is my team done now for this transfer window. In all honesty, we are going to go ahead and reject Adu Ajay. We are going to go ahead and build this squad out. I'll see y'all in a second. All right, and here we go. We have Sako, who we didn't get a sniff yet in the transfer window. It's still quite early in the transfer window, to be completely honest. We still have the whole of August and a little bit of July left to go, but there is still things that could change for the most part. It has to be a big club coming in for a player now, and if it's not, then we will just go ahead and reject it. But Sako as a left winger at the moment. Adu Ajay and Mustafa will fight as a starting striker. Yaboa on the right. Cuevas. We have Castellotti and Bernal. I'm surprised I haven't got a transfer for Bernal yet as well. Katango, Apodal, Hendricks, and Amos is our back four with Young and Net on the bench. We have Mustafa, Lambambe, Silvete, who I'm going to go ahead and generate a mini face for him. De Fleischer, Penda, Garrett, Storm, Chambers, and Bergstrom on the bench. Our reserves is a little lackluster, but that will be fixed within the next couple of seasons, next couple of options as well. Our first game of the season is Brighton. I will see y'all there if I don't get any crazy transfer offers. The Premier League is back. It's our first game of our second season in the division. We are taking on Brighton and Hove Albion, and let me tell you, this team is stacked. Let's go ahead and see what their starting lineup is. Let's get into the game here, away from home. It's Premier League football, us versus Brighton. And so let's look at the team. They have Darwin Nunez, 84 overall, Gruda as 85 overall, and Cecil as an 84 overall on the left. Bakayo Saka on the left, on the right, I should say. O'Reilly and Weaver in the midfield. Kadioglu in the back with Lukeba Ta as a center backs. Benjamin White as a right back, and 89 overall, Mike Mignon as an 89th overall. That is absurd team. It's going to be a tough game. Let's get into it. Y'all know what starting lineup is. The starting lineup that we obviously showed towards the end of our little transfer window spending spree. So let's get into it. Nothing's happened in between there. The Youth Academy didn't have anybody impressive enough to go ahead and sign. Well, they did, but we didn't sign them. They were, I'm going to say, impressive enough for us to sign. Sako, Cuevas, Adu Ajay, intercepted. Cuevas has the captain's armband now. That might change in all honesty. It might go to the keeper. Here's Saka into Gruda. And Gruda now gets past Young, and Brighton had the first goal of the season. Gruda, Saka. Cass has to be careful. It's Saka, back post, across the face of the net for Darwin Nunez. A bot shot from, I'm assuming that's in Cecil on the left-hand side, finds Darwin Nunez in a free tap-in, making it 2-0 for Brighton. Darwin, Gruda, 3-0 for Brighton. The start of the season is not going to plan. Gruda. Cuevas into Sako, and Saka, I don't know why I said Gruda. I'm used to Brighton attacking. Darwin Nunez makes it 4. It's 4-0. We made some changes. We are going to jump to simulation in all honesty. We are going to go ahead and not just jump to simulation. We are going to jump to the end here. A 4-0 loss. That is not how you want to start your Premier League season. Newcastle United, we are going to go ahead and quick sim here with the same exact team. Maybe a better result. A 1-1 draw is something we will take away. We will take away a point against Newcastle United. I was going to go and play that game, but there is something that we want to do first instead. We want to start fighting for, or at least fighting of putting a better fight effort up against competitions like the FA Cup. Obviously, when we first started this series, we were making these crazy FA Cup journeys, getting to the quarterfinals, getting to the quarterfinals like twice now in this series when we were a worse team. So making those storyline runs. The Carabao Cup is possibly an avenue to make a deeper run depending on who we get in the Carabao Cup. So we are going to go ahead and put more emphasis on the Carabao Cup, and obviously we have put the most emphasis in the FA Cup in all of the history of the seasons here, more than the leagues in some points. So Carabao Cup is going to go up into our antics here to try and maybe get a deeper run here, maybe get to semifinals, maybe get a chance to fight in the finals if we can escape like the massive clubs. And we get our second round opponent here against Plymouth Argyle, so we can go jump to this game, get them boys some match play, some confidence into them, and hopefully pick up a win here. We are going to go ahead and rotate the team, but also give some of these newer guys here a chance as well. So Savelte into Yerboa. Lambambe is not going to go ahead and step, but Irapunda can start instead of Castellai, and then that will be it. What we do see is Mark Bernal is up to 77 overall already. So come January, if he stays here, 77 at the minute will be our maximum instead of 76. But obviously that will probably change if Bernal stays here. We'll probably get a closer and even higher overall as well. He could be close to 78 to 79 overall, which could be great for us. And here we go. It's Carabao Cup action. Some new faces for us. Some hopefully just confidence gaining for this squad here, for a lot of these guys coming to the squad, coming to a new formation, new system. It's not a new formation at all, it's the same system, but maybe if they haven't played the system, as Mustafa gets a strike early, it's saved. There is a transfer deal brewing for Sacco at the moment for Wolves. Don't know if Wolves are actually in the Premier League, but if they are, we will look to entertain it. We are looking to get close to 30 to 25, about 5 to 10 million more than what the board thinks we can get, and about 15 million more almost maximum if we get up to 30 than what Wolves offered initially. They offered around 12. We want around 20 to 30 million in that area. Savelte, who was originally going to be my backup player anyway. I mean, originally was going to be my backup player. He is my backup player anyway, but he was going to be the only right winger that we were going to bring into the team if Gordon didn't go ahead and formulate into a deal, but all that worked out. Cuevas now into Savelte. Savelte crossed in. Sacco headed away. It's Cuevas now picking up. It's Cuevas down the byline. It's still Cuevas. That's a penalty. Referee, give him a possible yellow card. Should definitely be a card. He is carded. Salford to have a penalty here. It is going to be Cuevas who won it, who will take it. We are going to go bottom left here. What does the keeper say? Oh, keeper made a more higher chance dive there instead of diving on the ground like they normally do. Salford take the lead 1-0 in the Carabao Cup here against Plymouth Argyle. Janelli now. Janelli intercepted. Whittaker. That could be a penalty of their own, but it won't be. They play on, and Ali takes the ball and finds the back of net, and it's an instant equalizer. And to think I almost started Lucas Bergstrom in this game. Maybe I could have. Maybe I should have. I don't know if that was that might have been on a box foul. I don't think they played advantage for pens like that. Did he pick up a yellow card for that, though, is the question? He probably should have. He did. Hendricks is on a yellow card. Hendricks, Savelte, Cuevas, Sacco, Savelte. I think Hendricks has gotten away. It'll fall to Mustafa now. Mustafa, Bernal, out wide for Cuevas, Savelte, Sacco finds the back of net. Players all over the pitch, out of position for sure. But Salford retake the lead here, 25 minutes in. It's 2-0 for Salford. Oh, and that's a great ball in. And now Janelli is in behind. Oh, come on. Come on, Storm. Maybe I should have just bought Zahola back into the squad. Hero, Cuevas, crossed in. Sacco bringing it down. He'll find Irapunda. Into Cuevas into Irapunda, or into, I forgot his name. I don't know why I had the midfield. See, that's the thing. I get players' name in my head once I say it's Mustafa, by the way. I get players' name in my head, and then I just say that player again and again until it's not them, even though it's not them. I'm a mess sometimes. Irapund. No, see, I just did it again. Mustafa finds the back of the net. He turns beautifully there, and Mustafa has his first goal for the club. Is that his first goal? It is his first goal for the club. Make a wholesale changes here. 5 changes. Yeboah on for Zavelte. Lambambe on for Sako. Castle on for the midfielder for Irapenda. We go ahead and bring on Yeboah on for Zavelte. Lambambe on for Sako, obviously. And then we make the biggest risk in bringing on Lucas Bergstrom on at goalkeeper, obviously. And then we also bring on Storm at right back as well. We're going to take the risk of keeping the yellow carded center back in the team as Bergstrom makes his first save of the day. Yeboah. Santiago Cuevas out wide for Yeboah. We get a proper look at Yeboah now. And Yeboah down the right-hand side. Crossed in for Lambambe. And Lambambe will slide it away into the back end net. And we will have a 2-goal cushion here. It's Salford 4, Plymouth Argyle 2. Should be in the round 3 of the Carabao Cup. Janelli Whittaker looking for a simple consolation goal at this point to make it a tighter game than what it ended up being. It was tight for a little bit, but after our third, in all honesty, it's been quiet from them. A 4-2 win for Salford. We are into the next round of the Carabao Cup here. When we come back next episode, we will go ahead and look to get into some winning action as well. After 2 games, a draw and a loss is not the worst results, but obviously not how we wanted to start our season here. But it could be worse. We could be Arsenal, who have lost their first 2 games of the season. We start next episode against Luton Town in there. Do we have our next round of the Carabao Cup fixture? We do. We have Leicester City. That is a winnable game as well. Is Leicester in the Premier League? They are in the Premier League. Who's leading at the top so far? It is Brighton, who's only scored or conceded 1 goal. So Brighton are looking good there. Let's go ahead and see what happens next episode. We have Luton, Burnley, Man United, Leicester. So we'll probably play Luton, Burnley, and Leicester City in tomorrow's episode, at least in the Cup. And we might even simulate through them in the league as well. But that's going to be it for me today. When we come back tomorrow, more Premier League action, more Carabao Cup action. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.